world at myjoyonline.com. Coming up, President Akufo-Addo to commission newly constructed Tema motorway interchange today amidst political controversy over who should take credit for the $57 million project.
The president should do the right thing. Acknowledge the fact that the Tema motorway interchange is a baby of the NDC. You just inherited the construction phase of it.
Also, Electoral Commission describes the 2-day piloting exercise on the biometric voter registration system in all the 16 regions a success, as it has registered a total of close to 2,000 applicants.
In business, disbursement of the 1 billion cedi stimulus package for SME is set to begin next week as over 100,000 applications pouring. We've got more at 6:15.
And with the coronavirus pandemic forcing many employees to work from home, we'll bring you the backstory on how Joy News' Israel Laye is anchoring the news from his home.
We've worked in that environment for a long time, and then now it turns out that things have changed. I'm having to do a lot of the things that the sound man would do, the lighting man would do, and I'm getting my kids involved.
More as we build up to our Hotline documentary, The Media, a Virus and Survival, highlighting the impact of COVID-19 on Ghana's traditional media. Thank you for joining us this morning. Now, President Akufo-Addo will later today commission the Tema motorway interchange project amidst a political controversy over who should take credit for the $57 million project. In a series of news conferences over the last few days, the NDC warned the president against taking credit for a project they insist John Mahama secured full funding for and initiated before he lost power in 2016. Kwame Agboja is the minority spokesperson on roads and highways.
Let it be known, that project is just that the president of the day is the president that saw to the completion of that project. But never anywhere did the NPP actually promise that project to anybody. So the president should do the right thing. Acknowledge the fact that the Tema motorway interchange is a baby of the NDC. You just inherited the construction phase of it. Even if he installs a statue of himself at the Tema motorway interchange, it will not change history.
Kwame Agboja is the minority spokesperson on roads and highways. Well, yesterday, the NDC demanded that former President John Mahama be invited to the commissioning project today.
It will be recalled that when late President Professor John Evans Atta Mills inherited the George Walker Bush Highway from President John Ajekun Kufuor, he credited his predecessor for initiating the project and also showed statesmanship by inviting him to its commissioning. The NDC, and indeed Ghanaians, expect nothing short of this from President Akufo-Addo if he really believes honesty is a true virtue of a public officer.
Okay. Well, by speaking to Joy News, NPP member on the Roads and Transport Committee in Parliament, Daniel Ochimabwaje, said the NDC deserves no credit.
There have been so many projects that we have started under Akufo that the public continue by a successive government. So if we have to give credit to President John Dramani for any part whatsoever that he played, I don't think the president is not going to ignore that. So let's see what the president is going to do. You are calling for the former president to be invited. He was invited to the first time independence celebration at Central Region. What did he do? He didn't come. You keep begging for credit, then he must be also ready to share in the blames of causing those mess.
You hear there the MPP member on the Roads and Transport Committee of Parliament, Daniel Ochimabwaje. The $57 million Tema interchange project was funded by the Japanese government. Now, the Electoral Commission says the piloting exercise on the biometric voter registration system in all the 16 regions was a success. The exercise was to evaluate the preparedness of a commission for the upcoming voter registration exercise. The NDC had warned that many Ghanaians stood a chance of being disenfranchised due to what it says were a number of challenges associated with the registration exercise. But in a statement, the EC described the process as smooth as it managed to register a total of 1,990 applicants. Winston Amwa joins me in studio with details of that statement. Winston, what does it say?
Well, so according to the statement, the exercise went on smoothly at all the designated centers except in the Western region where the BVR kit developed a fault on the second day. And this, according to the Electoral Commission, led to the suspension of the exercise in the Western region, but also afforded the Commission the the opportunity to test its inbuilt processes of dealing with the equipment breakdowns during the registration process. And the Commission says the lessons learned from these investigations will further improve the Commission's response to such occurrences. Now, it is worthy of note that on the first day of the pilot, the West Region had the highest number of registered applicants. So the Commission says that the level of performance and with a continued, enthusiastic participation of the Ghanaian public, it is confident of registering some 13 million plus applicants within the first 21 days of the mass registration exercise.
Thank you very much, Winston Amwa there. Now, former Deputy Works and Housing Minister Samson Ahi has dared government to prosecute him and his former boss for alleged corruption in the execution of a controversial Sanglemi housing project. Speaker of Parliament yesterday directed a parliamentary probe into the alleged misappropriation of about $159 million meant for the project. Works and Housing Minister Samuel Atachian told Parliament an additional audit of expenditure on the housing project will be completed in a month to pave way for the prosecution of some former NDC government officials. But Mr. Ahi calls the bluff of government.
He said this 3 years ago that they were taking those corporates to court. In the country, last year, it generated heated discussions in the country. We have been waiting for when that court matter will start. Everybody is also ready to respond because we didn't do anything untoward.
Yeah, there's Samson Ahi. He's a former Deputy Minister for Works and Housing. Now, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly says it has deployed its officials to begin the collection of data of all churches as President Akufo-Addo eases restriction on religious activities. That is according to the Mayor of Accra, Mohammed Ejaisoa. Speaking to the media during a Zoom live on disinfection of mosques and some schools in the metropolis, he stated there are plans to disinfect the markets again.
The Bema Camp, Kolegono, and the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission Headquarters mosques were among some places disinfected by the team of sprayers. The Religious Affairs Ministry on Monday outlined detailed guidelines for the safe reopening of churches and mosques. The leaders of these bodies are expected to ensure their members adhere to the social distancing and safety protocol during worship. However, Second Deputy Amir of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission, Alhaji Abdul Wahab Isa, said it will be difficult to adhere to the protocol, hence they are suspending congregational prayers for now.
We need to be clear on this matter that the restrictions that the president has communicated to the nation will not be easy to apply.
Here the Max Olagbaba's report. Now, the coronavirus pandemic has permanently altered the world of work as many organizations, in an attempt to adhere to social distancing protocols, ask their employees to work from home. Although there are no available statistics to determine whether employees are reporting greater productivity, experts say it may become the new normal as the COVID-19 shows no sign of abating. In Ghana, many companies, including the Multimedia Group, have asked some of their employees to work from home. But what if the working from home included lights, camera, and action? Here's the backstory on how Joy News' Israel Lai is anchoring the prime news from his home.
We improvised a lot. I mean, we don't have the technology that the Fox News and the CNNs and the BBCs would have.
Other than the obvious, I mean, what is missing doing the show in your home versus doing it in the studio at 355 Fanifa Street?
In the studio, you're used to doing things a certain way. Here at home, you don't have all the equipment that you have back in the studio. The talk back, the studio feel. You're used to, we've worked in that environment for a long time.
Right.
And then now it turns out that things have changed. Right. In addition, I'm having to do a lot of the things that the sound man would do, the broadcast technician would do, the lighting man would do.
How do you get your family involved in this?
So Louisa is doing the makeup. And then I'm having Samantha fix the ear in, and she sits, quite close. And then I'm telling her she's like my P or floor manager. Everybody is involved.
Joy News' Israel Lai in that interaction with Araba Kumsin. There's more in the upcoming Hotline documentary titled The Media, A Virus and Survival, throwing the spotlight on the impact of COVID-19 on the traditional media in Ghana. It is scheduled to be aired on Monday, June 8. Do make a date. That'll be a package for this morning, but Arrive Alive tip for pedestrians: when it is raining, do not run. Most of us have the understandable urge to dash across the road to safety during the rains. Resist this urge. Visibility during the rains drop and oncoming vehicles may not see you in time. Our Arrival Live tips on the 6 a.m. news is brought to you by Bedrock Insurance Company Limited. Bedrock Insurance, protecting the things you truly value. I leave you with these interesting sounds of former President Jerry Rawlings at the June 4 commemorative event. Mr. Rawlings sported a grey afro with a grey beard to match. We probably would have to find out what has informed the former president's new look, but it was not all. He had this to say.
Inspirational history that could have lifted us onto another pedestal. It's a romance cup. It's got Kogona. But your mom is so